Hi and welcome to another exciting episode. I'm using the Felt 550 vapor barrier from a company called Crawl Space Repair, located in South Carolina. I've used the material in my crawl space, under my deck and in other landscaping projects, and so far I'm very pleased with it. It is easy to cut and allows water to penetrate through it, and no, it's not a commercial, the product is simply that good. To hold the material in place, I'm using landscape pins I purchased at Lowe's and a hammer. Sometimes those pins bend, especially on the overlapping areas. So I use a new pin instead, puncture the holes with it, and then insert the bent one into those pre-made holes. This way I reuse it instead of throwing it away. I've purchased those solar lights, and I don't like them. They're supposed to provide 10 hours of night light, while in reality they provide 2. Simply doesn't work as described. Back to the vapor barrier. I simply cut it per length and overlap it for about 5 inches, then getting rid of the excess. I'm attaching the pins every 16 inches or so. The purpose is to hold the material in place, so if you do it on your own, just make sure it stays in place. I probably should have done this step before the vapor barrier, but anyhow. I'm adding soil close to the foundation of the house and then creating a slope. This will allow any water to get away from the house and prevent it from going down into the crawling space or your basement. To add some kind of barrier to the form and prevent the upcoming mulch from escaping, I'm using a treated 4x4 pieces of wood. Treated wood has prolonged life cycle and is used for exterior construction. I'm using a miter saw to cut the pieces per length. I'm marking the location of the nails every 16 inches or so to create a uniformed and organized final look. I'm pre-drilling to avoid wood splitting and countersinking to hide the nails. Also, as you can see, I temporarily raised the wood so the drill will not spin and get stuck in the vapor barrier. I've used those 12-inch nails. The funny thing about the label on the back is that it's saying that it's ideal for installing landscaping, but should not be used in treated lumber and where surface rust is unacceptable. The label contradicts itself. That's a nice way of not taking any responsibility over your product. For your information, the head of those nails had visible rust on the second day. To fix this gap, I'm copying it to the back and cutting according to this angle. After some time, this becomes very hard. I'm not sure if I need bigger hammer, wider holes, or stronger hands. Now comes the fun part, mulch. I'm using pine bark nuggets, which I purchased from Lowe's. Simply cut and spread. I wish I would have painted it before installing, but I was incorrectly told that I need to wait 6 months before painting treated lumber. It can be painted if it's dry, not freshly treated with all the chemicals pouring out of it. I used a rough surface roller, a brush, and a solid color. From my experience, it's better to first paint and only then install. It looks longer, but in reality is much faster and easier. Time taken. If I ignore the 6 months waiting time, around 3 days. Cost for materials only, around 400. Cost for materials and tools, around 1 grand. Thanks for watching.